Yo, big cart. Yo, dick is scorching. Let me stop. Copyright is crazy. Let me stop. Copyright is crazy. Um, what's happening? You know what I'm saying? What's happening, people? What's happening? I ain't done that in a minute. Ooh, screw this over just a little bit. Ooh. But what's happening, people? It's me. It's me. It's me. Nah, let me stop. But yeah, how y'all doing? I'm back. I am back, and I woof, I feel so weird doing this. Because I haven't done it in quite a long time, and I did not forget. I didn't just wake up and not want to record. Um, I was sick, like very sick, like sick. No, I wasn't that sick. But no, around Christmas time, I got like actually because I don't know if if I remember I said this. I think I said I was going to my dad's, came back, and then got sick. I came back in this bed right here, like just coughing, sneezing, nose stuffed up. And what's crazy is that I came back right. And I'm thinking, okay, I'll come back. I'm gonna just record, do whatever, because it was Christmas games, NBA games, you know, and UFC shit was happening too. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna just record. Came back in this bitch. I shit you not. I sat in front of this fucking in front of this computer, shivering every 2 seconds. Ugh. Anyway, with the fucking shivering every 2 seconds. Also, all this, no. This, no. I couldn't. I could barely speak a word without coughing for every 2 seconds. So if I still sound like a little, still sound a little nasally, it's I'm literally just getting over a cold. And so yeah, I was very sick for like a week and some change, and then went back to my dad's house for New Year's. So didn't record there. I'm saying didn't come back and record it because then came back, had some bull stuff, and now we're here. So if I didn't say it already, happy holidays for everybody, Merry Christmas, things of that nature. And I know for sure I didn't say it, but Happy New Year's, very late New Year's because it's the 8th. But yeah, so that's simply what I've been doing, and why I haven't recorded in what feels like 2 weeks. But so yeah, it's a quick little update. And also, if the setup looks a little different, if you're noticing I'm not talking through this motherfucker, I'm talking through this guy. And also, I'm not recording on this anymore, and it's falling apart. I'm not recording on this anymore. No more camera stopping, hopefully, mid mid session. And yeah. I have a new computer now. I have a new laptop. Also, I'm gonna put timestamps at the bottom if you want to just skip this and be like, "Shut up, nigga. Talk sports. We don't care about your life or your opinion." Cool. I'm gonna put timestamps at the bottom if you want to just skip this. So this is strictly just what the fuck I've been doing and just update of why I've been gone for X amount of days. But yeah, I have a new laptop now. So I still have a lot of stuff I need to get for this. I still need to get an SD card. I still need to get an adapter. I do want to get a better camera because although this camera looks pretty good, I do want to get a better one. So yeah, for other videos and things of that nature I want to do in the future. But this is just this perfectly fine. I would take this over that other camera, even though the other camera wasn't bad. It was just it froze a lot, and I think that's what pissed me off the most. I'd have to constantly click back and forth between if I was sharing my screen and clicking back and forth just to make sure I didn't freeze. I feel like I don't have that problem with this one now. So, but yeah, the mic still have to figure it out. I was switching between this and using my AirPods, and the AirPods just sounded weird. So, and plus, Beats are just I feel like made for stuff like this, like podcasting and things of that nature. So, With that being said, on to some football because there's a lot that's been happening with football and really just all sports. But because the wild card is literally right around the corner, today's just gonna be strictly a football episode. No basketball, no UFC, any of that stuff. And plus, I just want to get this out because I am so not behind, but like it's the stuff that I wanted to talk about is like so kind of back there. It's like I don't think motherfuckers want to hear me talk about it. If y'all want to hear me talk about it, I had a whole thing involving like the UFC awards and certain, the NBA and trade and RJ Barrett going to Toronto and OG and shit like that. So, but that stuff feel like it's so old news. It's just like I don't really got time to talk about it. But before I even get into any of that, that's Grogu, that's Bit Me, and this is Real Me. Welcome back. This is such a bad intro. But welcome back to the Lazy Cast, ladies and gentlemen. I am gracious host, Jalen. This is episode 18. 18 of these bitches. It's crazy. But yeah, like I said, strictly just talking football. Going over week 18. Talking about who's in the playoffs, who's out the playoffs, giving my predictions on the wild card games. We're gonna go over them together and talk about some teams. In particular the Eagles, but talk about other teams as well that I am very high on coming playoff time, and teams that and the Eagles would also be it'd be one of those teams where I'm not very high on right now because we are not looking good. But I'm just gonna leave that be. And right now we are simply going to go over week 18 of the final week in the NFL regular season. You just see how smooth this is? Look at that. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh wait, I don't have a friend in here. Ooh, look at that. Look how smooth that is. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh man, I'm feeling myself right now. I ain't gonna hold you. But yeah. So yeah, that's it. I don't know why. I don't know why what that was. Anyway, but going through all these games, some of these games obviously didn't matter for a lot of these teams like the Jets and fucking Patriots. So I won't spend really no time on these type of games because they really didn't mean anything. But for games like the Bills and the Dolphins, which is essentially the AFC East championship game, got to go a little bit in depth on those. But however, we're going to start from the bottom and work our way up. So the Steelers beat the Ravens, essentially clinching their spot in the playoffs. But I feel like a lot of AFC teams with the Steelers, the Texans, who else? What was the other team? Steelers, Texans, and I believe I think that was it. I think it was Steelers, Texans, and it was some other AFC team. That I can't think of off the top of my head right now, that should be thanking the Tennessee Titans because they beat the Jaguars. And I have quite a lot to say about the Jaguars. And yeah, but Steelers beat the Ravens. The Ravens essentially had their like fourth string in. So yeah, I'm not surprised. Even though TJ Watt did, I believe, sprain his MCL, but best case scenario, he should be playing in 2 weeks, as they said. So, and the wild card games don't start until January 13th, and it is currently the 8th. So maybe he's back in time for the wild card games because as it's currently set up, I believe the Steelers are taking on the Chiefs. Is either the Chiefs or the Bills, one of the two. I believe they're taking on the Chiefs. So that should be interesting, and I'm interested to see how that works out. If TJ Watt will be healthy enough. Honestly, it really doesn't matter. In my personal opinion, I don't think it fucking matters because whatever team they play, whether it have been the Chiefs or the Bills or the Dolphins or whoever the fuck, the Steelers aren't making it past a wild card game. Spoiler alert, I guess. But yeah, I don't. If I'm Tomlin and the Steelers, dog, TJ, don't even play. I know he's gonna play because he's just that competitor in him. But instead of risking him getting hurt even more or fucking up another part of his MCL or ACL or whatever the case may be, bro, just sit this game out and just pray and hope that these motherfuckers win. Pray and hope that the Chiefs have a Chiefs type of performance that they've been having all season long, and that they just shit the bed and we're able to just squeak by them. Because if that's the case, if that is 100% the case, then TJ, good to go for the next round where we play Bills or wherever the fuck we play. But like I said, I'm again not really, not really too shocked by this. The Ravens again had essentially none of their starters playing. Now a game that had every single, let me see, how can I word this? No, I don't want to join that. A game that meant the most to both teams and to all of the AFC South. This was a very good game. I watched this game live. This was a very, very, very solid game. Shouts out to Nico Collins, because that man had himself a day. But this man right here, and also their head coach, DeMarco Ryan, deserve all the credit in the world. I mean, let me get on my quick little spiel real quick. They deserve so much credit. CJ Stroud, that entire Texans roster from top to bottom, DeMarco Ryan, Tank Dell, even though he's hurt right now, Nico Collins, Noah Brown, fucking that defense, Will Anderson Jr. and them boys, they deserve so much credit. This team is going to be nice. This team is going to be nice for quite some time. This team is going to be very good for a long time. And it's crazy because coming into this season, you could, if you would have asked me coming into the season, where do I think the Texans' record would be? Ain't no way in hell, even a die hard Texans fan would have never guessed that the Texans would be 10-7, win the AFC South, have a playoff spot, and on top of that, have the Rookie of the Year in CJ Stroud, who was also an MVP candidate at one point in time. Like, what the fuck? And for like goddamn 10, 12 games, didn't throw an interception. Like, what? And also on top of that, had like a game where he threw like damn near 500 yards and 4 touchdowns. What? Nah, bro. Like I said, the Texans, this is a team that even I think them missing Tank Dell is going to hurt them a lot, because that's CJ's number one receiver that he likes to go to a lot. But looking at the thumbnail essentially is just 3 teams that I think are very fucking dangerous coming into the playoffs. Ravens, obviously, because I think the Ravens, until the Eagles get kicked out, it's Eagles all the way. Fuck you niggas. It's Eagles all the way. But until the Eagles get kicked out of the playoffs, if we ever do, the Ravens would be my secondary team to pick in winning the Super Bowl. But the Bills, I think, are the most dangerous team in all of football right now. And the Texans, just for the simple fact that they shouldn't be here. They shouldn't be here. And I think that team is very dangerous. But yeah, I really like this team, dude. I really like this team. And this team is going to be very good for a very long time. CJ Stroud is that guy. This defense is really good. Devin Singletary is solid as hell. Dalton Schultz is also really good. Like, this team is just going to be very good for a very, very long time. Very, very, very long time. So, yeah, man. Quickly, let's just go through these stats real quick. CJ Stroud completed 20 of his 26 passing attempts, 262 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 picks, had a QBR rating of 134. Devin Singletary, like I mentioned, had 24 rushes, 63 yards, 1 touchdown on the day. And Nico Collins, who had himself a day, solid wide receiver too. 9 targets, 9 receptions, 195 yards, 1 touchdown on the day. And Dalton Schultz, like I mentioned, 5 receptions, 42 yards, and no touchdowns on the day. Looking at the Colts, it's tough. It's tough because you gotta feel for the coach. You gotta feel, because this is the same shit that happened last what was it, last season or the year? What was it? I think it was last season or the year before, when they had Carson Wentz. um, at QB, and they just needed to win that game, and they were in the playoffs, and they just shit the bed against the Jags, and it was like, I don't know. I don't think it was last year. I think it was the year prior, because the Jags were in the playoffs last year, but it just shit the bed, and it's kind of like a reminiscence, even though Gardner Minshew, big ups to him, Eagles legend, Gardner Minshew. I think while if I'm not a Colts fan, but if I was to be a Colts fan, I would be very disappointed, obviously, with the way that the game ended. With I forgot the running back's name, but excuse me, I forgot the running back's name, but for the way that the game ended, to have it on 4th and 1 wide open and to drop the ball. Now, granted, while yes, he's two hands on the ball, 9 times out of 10, you got to make the catch. It was a bad ball. Gardner threw the ball. So let's say my hand right here is at my chest. Gardner threw that bitch to the floor, and he has to reach down and try and grab it while also reach for the first down marker. So it's a bad it was just a bad break. I think that's all it was. So for all the motherfuckers that are sending that dude death threats and hating on that nigga, relax, nigga. 'Cause some of you niggas can't even catch a ball that was square in your face. Kadarius Tony ass niggas. So shut up. But Gardner Minshew all season long has been playing really good football. Um, and I think as like I said, as a Colts fan, I would be while yes disappointed because we had a chance to just be in the playoffs. Um, I think this makes me even more excited for Anthony Richardson, if that makes sense. I think this gets me even more excited about him because a lot of the games that they lost, or even in particular that last game that they lost against the Texans, if they have Anthony Richardson out there, or if you have him back there trying to make that pass, I guarantee he probably doesn't miss that pass. I guarantee you a lot of the close games that they lost, they probably win just for the simple fact that he is just that good, in my opinion. I think that, and I was very high. I think I'm saying this because I'm very high on Anthony Richardson. Um, but I think it would have been him and CJ Stroud battling out for that rookie of the year and throwing the Puka Nakua if you want to as well. It would have been him and CJ Stroud battling out for that rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year. Because before he got hurt and before he got shut down for the season, the Colts were 2-1 and he was playing phenomenal, even though nigga wouldn't slide to save his life. I think this gets me even more excited for this Colts team. Two really good solid teams, man. Two really good solid teams. And you hate to see it, but somebody gotta lose, and Houston did not want to lose, and neither did Jonathan Taylor, because holy shit, 30 rushes, 188 yards, a touchdown. Yeah, he did not want to lose that game. Oh my. But yeah, looking at the stats really quick. Gardner Minshew completed 13 of his 24 passing attempts, 141 yards, no touchdowns, no picks, QBR rating of 71. Jonathan Taylor had himself a game, 30 rushes, 188 yards, one touchdown. Longest run was damn near 50 yards. Oh my gosh. Michael Pittman Jr. What? Where did I get the junior from? Where did you get the junior from? Anyway, Michael Pittman had 5 receptions, 44 yards, no touchdowns, no receiving touchdowns at all for Pittman, Wally Cox, Taylor, anybody, or Downs. Yeah, it was just a very grinded out, nose to the ground type of defensive game. So you hate to see it. It sucks, but like I said, somebody's got to lose, and Houston really didn't want to lose that game. And big ups to the Colts though. Like I said, big ups to Gardner Minshew and the boys. Big ups to the Colts. Like I said, if I'm a Colts fan, I'm anticipating. I'm getting very excited about next season and to see the progression of Anthony Richardson and how he comes into next season. Because when he was playing really well. When he was playing well. So we'll have to wait and see. Like I mentioned, a lot of these games have no implications to them, like no serious fucking meaning to them. Outside of the Bucks game, which they needed to win, which they clinched the NFC South, but the game was so goddamn boring. The game was so boring. I didn't know why. I damn near fell asleep watching this game. I had it on red zone. I damn near fell asleep. So a lot of these games, I'm just going through the score. Bucks beat the Panthers to 9-0. Bengals beat the Browns 31-14. Didn't really matter because the Browns already clinched the playoff spot. Jags lose to the Titans 28-20. Quickly going over this game. All season long, everyone knew that the Jags, it was their division to lose. Even though the Jags had their stretches where they played bad, like I mean very, very bad. But it was their division to lose. And it sucks because this is another team that I was very high on coming into the season. Really, as soon as they got Doug Peterson, I was very high on this team. I thought this team honestly would be kind of what the fucking Ravens what are right now. I'm being so serious. I thought the Jags, and I still do think that the Jags have that type of potential to be one of the premier teams in the NFL and to be one of the best teams in all of football, to be up there with the Ravens and be up there with the Dolphins and be up there with the Bills and the AFC, just speaking strictly AFC teams and the Chiefs and things of that nature. But I don't know, man. Obviously the knee injury to Trevor Lawrence definitely hurt them a lot. I can't sit here and act like the knee injury to him didn't hurt them. It set them back a little bit. But even when they were healthy, they just seemed off. Defensively, um, I think it should be their biggest focus come draft time. While yes, Josh Allen, not the Bills QB, the pass rusher. Josh Allen is very solid defensive player and probably their best defensive player. I think defensively in terms of secondary, I think they need a little bit of help out there. Um and yeah, man. Calvin Ridley was not the dude that everyone expected him to be, even though he had a pretty good game against the Titans. But yeah, Calvin Ridley wasn't that guy. Evan Ingram was okay. Travis Etienne had sort of a breakout year. But I think this team goes as far as Trevor Lawrence is going to take them. And I think Trevor Lawrence just simply has to be better. Because, like I mentioned, there were times where when he was healthy, he just didn't seem to be like, I don't know. He just didn't seem to either. I don't just have that it factor, if that makes sense. Which is crazy because coming into the league, Trevor Lawrence was hyped up to be this crazy prospect. He was hyped up to be, generational talent, like one of the best QB prospects we've ever seen in life. And now for him to only be in the playoffs once out of his whole career and all season long, they started out very hot and then sort of just fizzled out and just kept fizzling out and kept fizzling out. And it's just like, damn, when are y'all gonna put it all together? Like when are y'all going to finally just put it all together? Because y'all have the weapons. I can understand if it was just simply just not having weapons. I can understand if it was just simply, you know, injuries in that case. Again, Trevor was hurt for a little bit. But even still, it's like, damn, y'all right there. Like literally right fucking there. Right there. And it sucks to see. It sucks to see. But like I said, man, shout out to the Titans because they made a lot of AFC teams and a lot of AFC fans happy. But yeah, Trevor Lawrence, looking at the stats, Trevor Lawrence completed 29 of his 43 passing attempts, 280 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Travis Etienne had 16 rushes, 57 yards, no touchdowns. Calvin Ridley, who had probably his best game since like week one, had 10 targets, 6 receptions, 106 yards, 1 touchdown. And Evan Ingram had 10 receptions, 1 touchdown, and 79 receiving yards. And looking at the Titans, Ryan Tannehill stepped in for the injured Will Levis, completed 17 of his 26 passing attempts, 168 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Derrick Henry, I quite a little something to say about Derrick Henry. 19 rushes, 153 yards, 1 touchdown on the day. D Hop and Spears both had a receiving touchdown as well with 40 plus receiving yards. Now, Derrick Henry would go on to address Titans fans, Tennessee fans, saying this was the best years of my life. I love you guys. I love the staff, coaching staff, cleaners, arena workers. If you've worked here, I love you. Thank you for making this experience the best experience of my life. Derrick Henry is probably going to get traded. I don't think probably. I don't know why I said probably. He's most likely going to get traded. Where? I don't know off the top of my head, but I looking at excuse me, looking at some places, some scenarios. I've seen a lot of motherfuckers say fucking the 49ers. I don't know how. I've just been seeing some people say 49ers. That would be so nasty. But I've seen some people say the Ravens. I've seen some people throw out a couple names like the Raiders. I've seen some people throw out a couple names. Excuse me. I've seen some people like some teams that are in desperate need, I guess, of a running back or things of that nature. So yeah, where Derrick Henry goes, it would be interesting to see where he would go. Because Derrick Henry, while isn't isn't as versatile as a Christian McCaffrey or a Tony Pollard or things of that nature, where he can receive and catch and do kickoff returns and blah 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 blah. Derrick Henry is still one of the best running backs in all of football. Uh, I don't know. It's weird because it's gonna be weird seeing him in a jersey that's not Tennessee. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be weird seeing him in a jersey that's not Tennessee. But hopefully it pushes the Titans just to say, fuck it. We're gonna just move off everybody. Move off everybody. D Hop, get out. D Hop, get out. Tannehill, get out. Derrick Henry, get out. Anybody that's old, get to stepping. Get the fuck out of here. Get out. Will Levis, take the team, buddy. Take the team, buddy. Or unless they draft a quarterback, which maybe I don't know. But yeah, unless they go draft the quarterback and go crazy in the draft and just make a bunch of moves and things of that nature. But I wouldn't be surprised if come draft time, Derrick Henry gets moved, D Hop gets moved, Tannehill gets moved. They move up and make some. Like I think come draft time, or I think what they should do. Me personally, I think come draft time, the Tennessee Titans should be one of the more active teams, trying to get as many picks as possible, trying to move off their old players. Because as great as Derrick Henry is, he is only getting older. As great as D Hop was, he's getting older. Tannehill is Tannehill. I'm not going to say he was great. He was serviceable for y'all. But y'all should have been moved off fucking Tannehill, honestly. But I think if the only reason I can see them keeping him around would just be to mentor the quarterbacks, whatever quarterback they bring in. That is named Malik Willis. So what happened to Malik Willis? Is he still on the team? Is he still on Tennessee, like as a backup to Will Levis? That's crazy. I feel so bad for him. But whatever. Anyway, but yeah. Sucks to suck, man. But yeah, like I said, I think Tennessee come draft time needs to be one of the more active teams. And what needs to be one of the more active teams. Trade whoever the fuck, man. Trade everybody. Trade everybody. Trade everyone. Get them all out of here. I'm being so serious. But yeah. Other games, the Saints beat the Falcons 48-17. Didn't matter because the Tampa Bay Bucks ended up clinching the division, so this game was for nothing. The Jets beat the Patriots 17-3. The Vikings would lose to the Lions 30-20. And Justin Jefferson, I saw this stat all day yesterday. Justin Jefferson somehow still got 1,000 receiving yards. And you made me looking, whatever. That he's Justin Jefferson. He got 1,000 receiving yards and he missed 7 games. It's 18 games in the season. He missed 7 of them, and he still received. Y'all can't tell me that nigga's not the greatest of all time. Let me stop. Y'all can't tell me that nigga's not the greatest right now in terms of wide receivers. But yeah, man. Vikings. Do you keep Josh Dobbs? Do you? I think Kirk Cousins is probably gone. Come the off season. Shit, if Atlanta doesn't draft a QB, I can see them picking up Kirk. If the Raiders don't draft a QB, I can see them picking up Kirk Cousins. Like, I don't know, man. A lot of teams could use Kirk and be serviceable with Kirk, you know? If Aaron Rodgers doesn't pan out, I can see New York giving Minnesota a call. Hey, give us Kirk. Give us white boy Kirk, man. Let's go crazy with him. So, but yeah. Shout out Jefferson. Shout out Justin Jefferson and shout out Dan Campbell and the Lions as well. The Bears, uh, the Bears just needed one game. One game. This is probably their most important game to beat the Packers, and the Packers don't make the playoffs, but they made it. Whoop dee. No, let me stop. The Packers beat the Bears 17-9. Justin Fields would go on to say that if this is his last game in the Bears in Soldier Field in the Bears uniform, he gave y'all his all, and he really does appreciate it. You know, all that good stuff. Essentially doing the same shit that Derrick Henry did. Chicago, listen to me and listen to me well. I am not the biggest Bears fan. I am not it. I'm not even a big Chicago fan in terms of our sports teams. In terms of the Bulls, Bears, Cubs, White Sox. Only team I probably root for is probably the Blackhawks, and I just don't watch hockey. So you got me, nigga. But Bears front office, Bears front staff, Bears coaching staff, Bears cleaning staff, whatever. If you work for the Bears, listen to me and listen to me well. As a man that has been inside of Chicago sports media, hearing how people talk about this man, Justin Fields, hearing how fans talk about Justin Fields, and just simply seeing him play, do not, I repeat, do not, do not go draft a fucking quarterback. Don't go draft Drake May. Don't go draft fucking Caleb Williams. Do not go draft a quarterback. Please, please. It's so simple. It's in your face. Please, for the life of me. If you niggas need to draft down, trade down from that number one pick and get a fucking 3 and 4 pick or 3 and 7, it don't matter. Do not go draft y'all as a quarterback. Please don't. Fields can play. Fields can be that guy. And for the people that are saying that he isn't that guy or whatever, feed into the hype, I guarantee y'all, if come draft night, and with the number one pick, the Chicago Bears select Caleb Williams, you niggas are going to honestly regret that. I'm being so serious. And I could be wrong. I could be wrong, and Caleb Williams turns out to be the next fucking Patrick Mahomes. And then you niggas are celebrating, and I'm just looking down. But don't move on from Justin Fields. I wholeheartedly think he could work. What I think y'all niggas should do, Marvin Harrison Jr. And if that means you got to trade down, because if you don't want to use the number one pick on him, because no wide receiver really goes number one, even though I feel like, nigga, it's a first time for everything. That nigga has been universally the best wide receiver in college for how long now? I think it's safe to say he's worthy of a number one overall pick, but fuck me, I guess. Get Marvin Harrison Jr. and go get some type of pass block. And just spend the rest of the draft just building up your defense, building up the secondary. Not the secondary, but building up your linebackers and building up that fucking O line for Justin. And just go to work next season. Go to work next season after that. But again, if they do get a quarterback, y'all niggas is gonna be in the same position. Because I don't think there's no quarterback coming into this year's draft. Coming into this year's draft better than Justin Fields. Call me crazy. Drake May, I don't think he's better. Caleb Williams, I don't think he's better. Penix, I don't think he's better. Bo Nix, I don't think he's better. So whatever quarterback that y'all looking at, You really got to sit there and ask yourself, is this quarterback better than our current quarterback? And I think the answer for every single one is no. That's just me. And from a lot of other Chicago fans that I've worked with, that I've talked to, that I've just interacted with, from just that I've just walked across the street from, a lot of the motherfuckers are saying, don't get rid of Fields. Don't get rid of Fields. When the fans are screaming, we want Fields, keep Fields, you motherfuckers are like, I know we're just gonna get rid of him. Like, you niggas don't even know if y'all want to go to Arlington or not. Like, come on now. Y'all motherfuckers don't even know if y'all want to come to Arlington or not, bro. Stop it. Figure out where y'all want to move the new stadium to before y'all get rid of the quarterback. Like, let's figure that out first. But yeah, I don't think they should get rid of Fields. If they do, it'd be this. That would probably be the main reason why I'm not a fan of Chicago teams, because they just do dumb shit. But if they don't, it's a step in the right direction, in my humble opinion. Now, if they keep Fields and Fields is be ass, I'll take the L for that. I'll gladly take the L for that. I'll just take the L and be like, hey, that nigga Fields his ass. The flashes was flashing. He caught my glimpse. He caught my eye a little bit too much. But yeah. Anyway, moving on, the Cowboys. Why did I just roll my eyes? I was so sassy. The Cowboys beat the Commanders 38-10. How many times did the fucking Cowboys? It feel like the Cowboys played the Commanders like 8 times this season. It feels like the Cowboys and the Commanders played like 10 times this season. I shit you not. It feels like 10 of the 12 Cowboy wins came from like shit teams. That's what it feels like. I know that's not the case, but that's just what it feels like. Essentially, them winning this game and the Eagles losing to the Giants clinched in the NFC East Division Championship, which continues the streak of I think it was since 2003, the 2003-4 season. There hasn't been a back-to-back winner, a division winner in the NFC East since 2003-2004, and the last team to do that, win it back-to-back, was the Eagles, which is crazy to think if you really think about it. Because that means the Commanders have won it at one point, the Giants have won it at one point, Eagles have won it, Cowboys have won it. So that's just crazy to think about. Eagles, I'll talk about them later. Rams, much needed win, beating the 49ers. Again, 49ers wasn't playing any of their starters, but still, this was a much needed win for them in terms of playoff implications. And also, Puka Nacua got the rookie, wide receiver record for most receiving yards. So shout out to Puka Nacua. If they don't give it to CJ Stroud for offensive rookie of the year, which I think they should, but I think because he was hurt for a little bit, I think because when he got hurt, he might. I saw something about him not qualifying or some shit. So if they don't give it to him, they'll 100% give it to Puka Nacua, because he's been not only the best rookie wide receiver, he's been LA's best receiver all year long, and they have Cooper Kupp on the team. So, but yeah, that's nice. Shout out to Puka, man. That's my guy. Moving on, the Broncos beat the Raiders 27-14. The Chiefs, ugly ass win against the Chargers, but again, no starters are playing, so I can't really hate too much on it. 13-12. The Seahawks beat the Cardinals for no reason. Because it really didn't matter because the Rams won. So 21-20. So Seahawks, I got to go into the lab and really figure some things out coming off season. But game of the night, the game that probably had the most stakes to it, the most implications to it, the highest stakes of them all, the AFC East Championship game, or the AFC East Division Championship game between the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins. And as you can see, the Bills beat the Dolphins 21-14. Whew. That was a mouthful to say. This was a game, dude. This was a really good game. I watched this game live. I caught, I believe, in the third quarter or the end of the third quarter going into the fourth. Watching this game live, I was in Discord with some people watching this game live, and man, this was a good fucking game. This was a good game, and this kind of leans into my point that I have about the Bills that I'm gonna make in a little bit. I think the Bills are the most dangerous team in the playoffs right now. And I will stand on that statement. I think they are the most dangerous wild card team. I don't think anybody wants to see the Bills right now, including the Ravens, including fucking the 49ers if they make it to the Super Bowl. I don't think anybody wants to see the Bills right now. They started 6-6, look literally outside of the playoffs. Literally, when they were 6-6, they were outside of the playoffs. Ever since that loss to the Eagles, they've been 5-0. And even then, they could have been 6-0 because they were very close to winning that game against the Eagles. But they were five. They ever since that loss to the Eagles, they've been 5-0. Josh Allen has been playing at MVP caliber levels. Stephon Diggs has finally found his routes again and actually been playing solid. James Cook has been fucking the reincarnation of Adrian Peterson. That nigga has been unstoppable. And that defense has been very solid as well. So Sean McDermott didn't say his ass because that man was on the chopping block. If the Bills would have continued to struggle and lose and miss the playoffs or struggle and barely make the playoffs, that man probably would have got fired this offseason. I'm gonna be so serious. But Josh Allen has really stepped up for this team. The team, I think, not even just Josh Allen by himself, but the Bills as a whole has really just stepped up for this team. And like I said, I think they're the most dangerous team. I think they're the most dangerous wild card team. I don't think anyone in the AFC wants to see them. Excuse me. I don't think any. If I'm any team in the AFC, literally any team in the AFC, I don't want to see the Bills. I don't. If I'm the Browns, Chiefs, Ravens, yes, the Ravens, I don't want to see the Bills because these niggas are too hot. and these niggas are too hot. Like there's teams that are like hot, and then there's like the Bills. These niggas are playing too good right now. These niggas are too fucking on right now. They clicked at the right time, and they haven't turned it off, and that's what scares me. That's what scares me because they haven't been switched off, and it's like, well, damn, y'all niggas know like it's playoff time. Like y'all niggas forgot how to be ass. Like what the fuck? But yeah, man. I'm gonna go more in depth in all the wild card teams and once after we finish this recap. But yeah, man, I man. This was, but all in all, this was a good game. Miami on the other hand, y'all showing me something. Y'all showing me nothing, honestly. Um, I'm scared for Miami. Again, when we look at who they play come the 13th. Miami continuously can't beat teams with over a 500 record, but they're like, oh, they beat the Cowboys. Miami beat the Cowboys. Nigga, it took their field goal kicker to hit 5 field goals. 5 fucking field goals for them niggas to barely beat the Cowboys. Pump your brakes, nigga. Pump your fucking brakes, nigga. They cannot. The only team that they beat over 500 with an over 500 record was the Cowboys, and they barely, I mean, barely beat the Cowboys. So, yeah, I don't know. The Bills, man, coming into the season, I was very high. Not the Bills. I was very high on the Dolphins, and I don't know. It's still playoff time. A lot can happen come playoff time, but Tua has been kind of I believe is Raheem Mostert injured. I think Mostert might be injured. Jalen Waddle, I think, is injured as well too. So that doesn't help. And also bringing it back to my favorite player, Cam Newton. Game changers and game managers. What was the names he said for game managers? Brock Purdy, Tua Tagovailoa, and Jared Goff. The only one you can probably make a comment for and say he's not a game manager would probably be Jared Goff. But yes, he's been playing fucking phenomenal. I don't know. But Tua and Brock, To win, Brock. Them niggas, you can't even say nothing else. You can't say nothing about them niggas. You can't even throw them in the game changer category. But like I said, man, it brings it back to what Cam Newton said. It shocked a lot of niggas that a former NFL MVP, former top five, fuck it, top at bare minimum, top five player in the league at one point in time, led his team, a bunch of fucking Walmart shoppers and cashiers, to the fucking Super Bowl. While yes, he didn't win it, but he led them bitches to a Super Bowl with a record of 15-1. Be so fucking for real. Be so fucking for real. Come on now. Come on now. But that nigga didn't know what he was talking about. What Brock do against the Ravens? What Tua been doing? What Tua do when the lights get too bright? I'm just saying. I'm not saying these niggas are bad, but I'm just saying, dog. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Hey man, I'm just saying. It's crazy when niggas know what they talk about. And now niggas is like, Tua was never that good. Brock is a system quarterback. Even though that nigga just said it. And niggas called him a hater and said he didn't know what he was talking about. But I digress. Josh Allen had a Josh Allen type of game. Had a very Joshy Allen type of game where he had completed 30 of his 38 passing attempts, damn near 360 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, a fumble, was sacked 3 times, but also had a QBR rating of 101.6. 15 rushing attempts, 67 yards, no touchdowns for Josh Allen on the floor, on the ground, and also James Cook had 13 rushes with 36 yards as well. Shakur had himself a game, had 6 receptions, 105 yards, no touchdowns. Stephon Diggs also had 7 receptions, 87 yards, no touchdowns. And Dalton Kincaid, who was finally starting to show up, and I really like that. Because I was very high on this dude. Not only because I had him on my fantasy team, but because I was hearing so much good things about him coming into this year and how he was a really solid tight end in college. And now he's starting to find his stride in Buffalo. So also 7 receptions, 84 yards, and 0 touchdowns. So yeah, and also while it says 0 touchdowns here, Deontay Harty had a punt return, a 96-yard punt return, which was very fucking big for Buffalo. So yeah, Tua completed 17 of his 27 passing attempts, 173 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, QBR rating of 62.7. Devon had 10 rushes, 56 yards, 1 touchdown, and Tyreek Hill had 7 receptions, 82 yards, and also 1 touchdown. So yeah, man. It'll be interesting. Oh yeah, I know it'll be the Dolphins play. I think they play the Chiefs actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, but let's get this out the way. Let's go ahead and get this shit out the way, man. Again, we weren't playing any of our starters. But man, this team is in trouble. The Eagles are in trouble, and I don't like talking about them because they make me angry. Talking about this team makes me so angry. Yeah, so angry. Because it's the same shit I've been saying since week 3. Jesus Christ. Well, at least now I don't have to talk about them being inconsistent. I can talk about the coaching. Matt Patricia, please get him out of here. Brian Johnson, please get him out of here. Nick Sirianni, you're on a thin leash, buddy. You're on a thin leash, buddy. You're on a very thin leash, buddy. That's all I'm gonna say. Your leash is quite thin, buddy. And then people are like, oh, Sirianni took us to the Super Bowl last year. Shut the fuck up. Shut up, nigga. Shut up. Our OC in DC, our old offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator took us to the goddamn Super Bowl last year. That's what the fuck took us to the goddamn Super Bowl last year. Shut up. The offensive coordinator that's with the Colts right now. You saw how good that nigga had when he had Gardner Minshew, and how the motherfuckers essentially was one drop pass away from being in the playoffs. Shut the fuck up. That bullshit, man. But yeah, man. It doesn't help also that AJ Brown is hurt. Devontae Smith is hurt. Jalen Hurts is now hurt. We shouldn't have been playing any starters. I get it. We wanted the NFC East Division Championship. We wanted to be the second seed. I understand that. I get that. Blah, 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 blah. I understand all that shit. But we've been already struggling with our starters in. We've been struggling. We shouldn't have been playing those starters in this game, if I'm being honest. Because now Hurts' finger, that nigga's finger was doing this. That nigga's finger was doing this. So now he's hurt. I'm pretty sure he'll play in the playoffs, but still wouldn't want to. That's on his hand. I believe his throwing hand, so that's even worse. Devontae Smith has some type of ankle injury, so who knows how serious that is. And I forgot what AJ Brown has. I think it's like a knee or some shit. And our defense hasn't been any better. James Bradbury. You can go with Matt Patricia and Brian Johnson. Please leave. You went from being an all-pro cornerback, a solid DB2 behind Darius Slay, who's been barely playing this season. Also, had a lot of injuries this season. To nigga getting cooked by everybody. Please leave. We need to build up our secondary again. Build up our linebackers again. Our D-line, please don't touch it. It's solid. While, yes, Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox are like 600 years old, they've been producing somewhat. We still have Hassan Reddick, we still have Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis. Those three are more than enough. But what we need to do is build up our secondary. Now, like I said, it is Eagles until they get eliminated. What a dream scenario would be is that we turn it on in the playoffs. These niggas been playing possum for the end of the regular season. These niggas were just playing possum to lower the fucking expectations for everyone else. And then just turn it up in the playoffs and just beat everyone. That's the dream. Would be the dream. Will it happen? Probably not. Do I want it to happen? Obviously. I would love to see the Eagles win another Super Bowl in my lifetime. But being realistic, I see us getting past the Bucks, but whether we play the Cowboys or the Lions in the second round, that's when it starts to get shaky. That's when it starts to get very fucking shaky. Because, like, God forbid we go play the 49ers. It's like, oh, let's go get the caskets. Let's go get the coffins prepared. Let's go get the coffins prepared because we're going to get killed. But yeah. I'm trying to just be very realistic and not be biased, but in a sense to where it's like I'm just, it's still, like I said, it's still Eagles until we get eliminated. It is still Eagles until we get eliminated. Until we get bounced out in whatever round, that's when I'll switch over to the Ravens because I think that team will win the Super Bowl if we don't. But yeah, it is what it is, man. Like I know people. May seem like I don't care enough to talk. It's simply because I genuinely don't care because the shit that I've been saying about this team, I've been saying since week 3, and I let it pass. I let it slide because it was very very early in the season. It's like we barely squeaked by the fucking Vikings, even though we should have blew them niggas out by 40. But lapse of judgment would be okay. And it just kept happening and happening and happening and happening and happening. Yes, we were 10-1, but that was the ugliest 10-1 I've ever seen in my life. That was the hardest 10-1 I've ever seen in my life. I was like, holy shit. Why are we struggling against teams that we should not be struggling against? Why are we barely beating the Commanders twice? What? Why did we shit the bed against the Jets? And I know Jalen Hurts had his worst pro game ever, but it's like still, my nigga, what the fuck? Like I said, man, it is what it is. Is what it is. The dream would be that everyone turns it up in the playoffs, or injured or not, everyone just turns it up in the playoffs and we're good to go. That would be the dream. That would be the dream. Will it happen? Probably not. The worst case scenario, we get fucking bounced out in the wild card round by the Bucks. If that happens, yeah, I don't know. Honestly, there's no point of going over that score. But yeah, that is all of Week 18 recapped into one. Now, moving over to the wild card predictions. And oh man, it's the wild I'm trying to see. I'm trying to see. Should I just give like my entire playoff predictions, or should I like just strictly leave it towards the wild card? I think I'm gonna just leave it strictly for wild card games. I'm gonna just leave it strictly for the wild card games. I don't know. We'll see. All right. So looking at the wild card games, we have on the AFC side. Make sure it's still okay. Looking at the AFC side, we have the Steelers taking on the Bills, the Dolphins taking on the Chiefs, and the Browns taking on the Texans, with the Ravens obviously having the bye because they are the number one seed. And then going to the NFC, we have the Packers taking on the Cowboys, the Rams taking on the Lions, and the Eagles playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, with the I've already said my piece about the Bills. I think the Bills are the most dangerous team in all of the playoffs right now, and I will stand by that statement until them niggas get bounced out. Um, for the AFC side at least, and I guess for the NFC side, it would probably be the Lions, because while I'm not the biggest fan of the Lions, and I know that sounds like I'm hating, I'm not just the biggest fan of the Lions because I just strictly need to see it in the playoffs. While yes, they had a fucking amazing regular season, a first division win in 30 years. Every single year that I've watched the Lions in my lifetime, and I'm 24 by the way, the Lions have always been doodle butter ass cheeks. So for them to be, this is the first division title for a lot of their fans that probably wasn't even alive type shit. It really means a lot. But I just need to see it in the playoffs. I just need to see it in the playoffs. So like I said, I need to see it. So I guess call me Aiden. I'm not saying that they're frauds or anything. I just need to see it in the playoffs. That's just me personally. So, but yeah, I guess in either the Lions or maybe the Cowboys would probably be the most dangerous team on the NFC side. For the wild card games, coming out of the wild card games. So yeah, but looking at these games, I guess I'll just go through the whole playoffs. I'll just go through the entire playoffs and give my thoughts like that. Um, so yeah, the Steelers and the Bills. This is pretty self-explanatory, especially if they don't have TJ Watt. I think the Bills make quick work of the Steelers. Um, so yeah, I think that'll be quite easy. I think they'll make quick work of them. Why did that just go off? I think they'll make quick work of them. The Dolphins and the Chiefs, however, I think should be a fun game. I think the Dolphins and the Chiefs should be a fun game. Just for Tyreek is coming home. The Chiefs have been struggling offensively. The Dolphins can't beat anyone over 500, so this should be a fun game. Who I would have winning, I would lean towards the Dolphins a little bit, but when I do that, I think about who the Chiefs have at quarterback, and it's like they have Patrick Mahomes. And I know regular season, he wasn't amazing in the regular season, but he still was Patrick fucking Mahomes. And it's like come playoff time, it's almost as if like you're betting against Brady. It's like, yeah, his team isn't that great. Yeah, this, that, and the third, woo, woo. But it's like it's Brady. We see what happens when you bet against Brady. And it's like you see what happens when you bet against Patrick Mahomes. It's like you really don't want to do it. So that's why I hesitant to do it, because on paper, the Dolphins have the better team. On paper, the Dolphins are the better team. And even if you're just going off regular season, why they are the better team, they perform better. But when it comes to teams that are above 500, they just shit the bed. So if any, I think obviously with these games being single elimination, it's going to benefit a lot, because if these were like a game of three, a best of three type series, I think the Dolphins would probably win the two games. Just for the simple fact that I don't think the Chiefs wide receivers can play back to back really good games. Because all he needs to do is just play one good game. Just one. Just have a game where they're just solid. Travis, it just needs to be solid for one game. Patrick, you're gonna be Patrick, so I'm not too upset on you. But even still, it's like, but I'm leaning towards the Dolphins because on paper, like I said, they are the better team. But it's Patrick Mahomes on the other side. So I'm gonna say Chiefs, but I don't want to. I'm gonna say Chiefs. I'm gonna lean towards the Chiefs just like a smidge. Um, but damn, I wouldn't be shocked if the Dolphins win. I wouldn't be shocked if the Dolphins win, and I wouldn't be shocked if the Dolphins are up and it's a 2 minute drive and Patrick Mahomes has the ball and he wins them the game. He wins the Chiefs the game just for the simple fact, but he's still probably the best player in the league. Well, without a doubt, the best quarterback in the league, or still the best player in the league. So, yeah, I don't know, man. It's tough. It's tough to say because both these teams haven't performed to their, I guess, potential still. So yeah, I would say Chiefs, but it's very close. Browns and the Texans. Now, I feel like this could be a really fun game. This right here could be a very fun game. Joe Flacco and the Browns have been playing these past couple of games fairly well. Joe Flacco has reverted back to his Super Bowl MVP caliber type play. His playoff run where he didn't throw a single pick. And CJ Stroud has also been playing very, very well. And this Texans team, I've already raved about how much I really like this Texans team. So I'm going to say Browns. I'm going to say Browns just for the simple fact that their defense is better. And also the Texans are going to be without Tank Dell. And I think that will hurt them a little bit. But I will say the three teams that are on the thumbnail are the three teams I think are the most dangerous just in general in playoffs, period. The Texans, hot take if you want, I would not be surprised if the Texans make it to the AFC Championship. I would not be surprised if the Texans knock off the Browns, if the Texans knock off the Ravens, and make it to the AFC Championship and they play like the fucking Bills or some shit. Or they play the Chiefs or some shit. I would not be surprised by it because I'm that high on CJ Stroud and they've been playing that. That DeMarco Ryan would have the motherfuckers run through a cement wall. And I would do the same shit because I would want to play for that man. If I was playing football still and I was in NFL, there is probably one or two coaches I would want to play for. There's Dan Campbell and that's DeMarco Ryan. Them motherfuckers would have you run through a wall for them, and I would do it with no hesitation. So yeah, I would not be surprised if the Texans make it to the AFC Championship. Am I saying they're gonna make it to the AFC Championship? No, I don't think they're gonna make it. But I think they are a very dangerous, like a sneaky dangerous team. I think they are a very dangerous team. But I would lean towards the Browns because I think they are the better overall team. No Tank Dale also for the Texans is gonna hurt. And also experience. I just think experience will come into the play. And I think that defense, that Browns defense, will make it hard for CJ. The Browns defense will make it quite hard for CJ. So just sticking in the AFC just so I can get this side filled out. I would have the Browns, the Bills taking on the Chiefs. And we've seen this so many fucking times, but I think the outcome will be different this time. I think if the Bills, the current Bills team that we see now, play the current Chiefs team that we've seen all season long, I think the Bills mollywop the Chiefs. I don't think it's close. If the Bills were to play the Chiefs in the divisional round, I don't think it's close. I think the Bills beat the brakes off the fucking Chiefs. And I was on record of just saying that it's hard to bet against Patrick Mahomes, and it is. It is very hard to bet against Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is the new Brady. It's hard to bet against that nigga because he's just that goddamn good. However, the Bills team, like I said, I think it's the most dangerous team in all of football. The most dangerous team in all of football. I don't think anybody wants to see this team. Nobody wants to see this team in the playoffs right now because they're just that hot. Now, I could be completely wrong and they lose to the Steelers, obviously. We won't know until they start playing. But I think if the Bills and the Chiefs played in the divisional round, I think it's over with. I think the Bills beat these niggas badly. Like it would be a blowout. I think it'd be a blowout. I'm being so serious. So moving on to the second divisional round game, I would have the Browns taking on the Ravens. Cool little reunion story for Joe Flacco and them boys, but I think it would while the Browns defense would make it a little bit challenging for the Ravens, I think the biggest problem with the Ravens would simply just be consistency. Just a little, they're just a smidge inconsistent, but I think they'll be fine against the Browns. Against the Browns, wouldn't that be something? Joe Flacco knocks off the Ravens. That would be something. That would be some shit. But yeah, I would lean towards the Ravens. So then my AFC championship would be the Bills taking on the Ravens. And this would be a very fun game to watch. You have the hottest team in all of football against the best team in all of football. And the Ravens taking on the Bills. I would I would not be shocked. I would not be shocked if the Bills just steamroll they way to the Super Bowl because they're just that good right now. And they're that dangerous, I believe. But I believe this would be where their run ends. I think they would lose to the Ravens. I think it would be a very close game, but I think this is finally the year that Lamar actually gets over the hump and makes it to the Super Bowl. So it would be quickly going over my AFC bracket. It would be the Bills beating the Steelers, Chiefs beating the Dolphins, the Browns beating the Texans, and then in a divisional round, I would have the Bills beating the Chiefs and the Ravens beating the Browns. And then in the AFC Championship, it will be the Ravens beating the Bills with the Ravens moving on, representing the AFC. Now, moving on to the NFC, going through these pretty quickly because I feel like these are a little bit more, I won't say predictable, but like you can kind of see how these going to go. The Cowboys taking on the Packers. I would say the Cowboys handles the Packers pretty well. I don't think they should struggle that much against the Packers. However, Jordan Love, Green Bay, y'all got yourselves another one. Y'all might have got yourselves another one. Let me see it for another season. Let me see it for another season or two. You know, let me see it for another season or two. But Green Bay, y'all might have found yourselves another one. And if you don't know what I'm talking about quarterbacks because they go from Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love. So if Jordan Love turns out to be another MVP caliber, not even MVP caliber, let's just say if he turns out to be a Pro Bowl caliber, like all pro caliber type of quarterback, man, Green Bay has the best quarterback draft pool ever. They know how to scout quarterbacks. They know how to develop quarterbacks. That's all I'm going to say. But I think it would be the Cowboys. I think the team is just too dominant on paper. And also they would be at home as well. So I think that's what would give them also the edge. So I think the Cowboys beat the Packers pretty handily. We have the Lions taking on the Rams. This would be an interesting game. Matthew Stafford going back home to Detroit. It should be a fun game. I would lean towards the Lions, but I think this would be a very close game. I think this would be I think this could resemble sort of the Browns and Texans game. I think this would be a really fun game, really grinded out game. I think Matthew Stafford would be really. I think Stafford might have one of his best games. I think Stafford might have one of his best games, and we'll be interested to see how Detroit's secondary handles not only Puka Nacua but also Cooper Cup uh, doing their thing and shit, and also Kyron Williams, who's also been a really fucking good rookie running back for LA. And yeah, I would want to, I would be curious to see because LA is a funky ass team. LA is like a non-conventional ass team. They have arguably the best coach in all of football, solid QB, uh, probably the best wide receiver duo in all of football as well. And Puka Nacua and Cooper Cup, and then really underrated defense in my opinion. I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna say Detroit, but I don't know. McVay might have some shit up. Yeah, Sean McVay might be on that shit, man. I don't know. McVay might be on some shit. I don't know, but I'm gonna lean towards Detroit. I'm gonna say Detroit, and then we have the Bucks and the Eagles. Good lord. My heart wants to say the Eagles. My mind wants to say the Eagles. The hater in me, the pissed off fan in me wants to say the Bucks. I want to just get the Eagles out of this bitch. I'm gonna be so serious. I want the Eagles to just get eliminated so we can get rid of our defensive coordinator, we can get rid of our offensive coordinator, and we can just spend all of our season finding better coordinators. The hater in me wants to just say, fuck it. Please blow these niggas out by 30. So the front office has no choice but to get rid of Brian Johnson and Matt Patricia. We would have zero choice. Because if we, in my dream scenario, and we go on and make it to the Super Bowl, play the Ravens, and we win, them motherfuckers are going to keep their jobs. And I don't want them to. I don't want them to. If we somehow, as the Eagles, make it back to the Super Bowl, Matt Patricia would most likely keep his job. Brian Johnson would most likely keep his job. And Nick Sirianni would probably get a fucking extension. And as organizations, as a front office, we need to start, you know what I'm saying? We need to start, you know, we need to start firing coaches after they make it to a deep run. Because if all season long they've been ass, but then come playoff time, them niggas just magically good or get hot at the right time. We need to start normalizing firing coaches after they. We need to start normalize coaches after they have deep runs. I'm just saying. We need to start normalizing that shit. We need to start it. We need to start doing it, man. Just saying. That needs to become a normal thing. But I'ma say Eagles. It depends though. Who's all gonna be healthy? I'm assuming everyone's gonna be playing. I'm assuming Devontae's gonna be playing. I'm assuming AJ Brown's gonna be playing. I'm assuming Jalen Hurts are gonna be playing. I'm hoping Slay is gonna be healthy. I'm hoping Jordan Davis and everybody and all them boys are gonna be healthy. I'm hoping. If everyone's not healthy, we're probably gonna lose this game by 600. I'm being so serious. But I'm gonna say Eagles. But this game is going to be close. I would be shocked if we blow out the Bucks. I'm gonna be very shocked if we blow out the Bucks. So looking at the second round, so we would have I keep saying we. I would have the Cowboys taking on the Lions, and then it would be the Eagles taking on the 49ers. Jesus Christ. So looking at the Cowboys and the Lions in the division round, this should be one of the more interesting games because I believe the Cowboys would be at home, right? I think the Cowboys would be at home, or the Lions would be at home. Let me actually check. Who has the better record? 12-5. 12-5. Who would be at home? I think the Cowboys would be home, no? I think the Cowboys would have I think the Cowboys, because they're both 12-5. So I think the Cowboys would be the home team because I think they have the higher seeding. I think they're the second seed. Am I tripping? Yeah. So if the Cowboys are at home, they probably win this. But even though, again, I need to see it from Detroit. I think Detroit will have a good chance of winning this game, just for the simple fact that the Cowboys will cowboy. They will, they'll find a way to fuck it up somehow. They will find a way to cowboy their way out of a fucking game. They will find a way of doing it. Whether it be against Detroit or whether they make it to the NFC Championship and just shit the bed against the 49ers. But then people are going to be like, oh, it's the 49ers. Shut up, nigga. Anyway, but yeah, the Cowboys will Cowboys. So I'm going to say Detroit wins this game, if I'm being honest, because I don't believe in this team. Again, these are two teams that I'm not very high on. These are two teams that I'm not very like high on. Outside of like the 49ers, there isn't really an NFC team that's like, oh, scary. That I would realistically think could make a run to the Super Bowl and actually like do something. So I would just say fucking go with the Lions because I think the Cowboys are gonna just find a way to lose the game. And that sucks. It may sound like I'm a hater. I am, nigga, fuck the Cowboys. But yeah, I I would have the Lions beating the Cowboys in the division round. Moving down, we would have the Eagles taking on the 49ers. We're losing that game. We're losing that game. We're losing that game. There's no elaborate reason. There is no because they're no because of the scheme. We're losing this game. 100%. Even if we're fully healthy and all this other shit, I don't think we win this game. I think this would be the time where we get eliminated from the playoffs. And I would cry. I wouldn't, but you know, it is what it is. Again, I would, if I'm being so honest, I would much rather us lose this game just so we can get rid of the negative pieces sooner rather than later. But we're most likely going to beat the Bucks. We're going to lose the 49ers unless the same thing that happened last year happens this year where Brock Purdy or someone significant gets hurt. Knock on wood. I don't want that to happen. But unless some freak accident happens, that's probably the only way we will move on to the NFC Championship. And even then, knowing our luck, we would lose to the Lions. So yeah, but I think we lose to the 49ers in the second round. So my NFC Championship would be the Detroit Lions taking on the San Francisco 49ers. And again, I don't have faith in the Lions to do anything against the 49ers, and I think the 49ers handles them pretty easy. Let me not say easily. I think this would be a close game. I think this would be a closer game than it would be if the 49ers played Dallas. I think if Dallas makes it to the NFC Championship, I think San Fran clears them niggas. I think San Francisco beats the shit out of them niggas. I don't think it's close. I'm being so serious. I don't think it's close because they wouldn't be at home either. So that makes it even worse. The motherfuckers would not be at home and they cannot win on the road. So, but yeah, looking again, recapping my NFC brackets. Side of the bracket, I would have the Cowboys beating the Packers, the Lions beating the Rams, the Eagles beating the Bucks, and then I would have San Francisco beating the Eagles, and then I would have the Lions beating the Cowboys, and then I would have the San Francisco 49ers beating the Lions in the NFC Championship, and then Super Bowl would be the Ravens versus the 49ers, and I think it would be a repeat of last time. I think the Ravens beat the 49ers. And Lamar Jackson gets finals MVP, or not finals MVP, Super Bowl, whatever the fuck Super Bowl it is, MVP. And he rides off on the sunset. Sunset. I can't talk today. I think again, if I still sound like a little nasally, it's because I am getting over my cold or fever, whatever the fuck. I'm pretty much better, but it's still there. But yeah, that's essentially a look at my bracket. It would be I would end for Super Bowl Vegas. I don't know what number this is. I'm assuming what 63? Is this 63, 53? 63, 53? I'm gonna just say 63. Super Bowl Vegas. I would have the Ravens taking on the 49ers, and I think it is a repeat of what happened when they played in the regular season. I don't think they get blown out, the 49ers. I don't think it's a blowout. I'd be shocked if Brock Purdy throws another 4 picks in the Super Bowl. That would be some shit. That's the ultimate, like, nigga, I told you so. If I'm Cam Newton, that's the ultimate nigga, I told you so. It's like, what? Hey, maybe I know what I'm talking about. I don't know. But yeah, that would pretty much be it though. I think that would be it. But no, I think these playoffs are going to be pretty fun. I think we're going to have a lot of good games. I would not be surprised if we have quite a few upsets. Like I said earlier, let me quickly put that back again. Like I said, I would not be surprised if the Texans make it to the AFC Championship. I genuinely would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if the Texans make it to the AFC Championship because they've just played that good. I would not be surprised if the Bills make it to the Super Bowl and win the whole thing because they're just the hottest team right now. And really, what the playoffs is just making it and getting hot at the right time. It's kind of different from the NBA playoffs because you have to play 7-game series. But with football, obviously, with it being single game eliminations, you get hot at the right time. Shit, bro. Look at the Giants when every time they won the Super Bowl. By no means were they a top premier team in the league when they won the Super Bowl, but they just got hot at the right time. So, yeah, man. I think the 3 most dangerous teams all in the AFC are the Texans, the Ravens, and the Bills. I think the Bills is the most dangerous team in all of football. But the Texans, just because DeMarco Ryan has those boys playing crazy, and they're without their best wide receiver in Tank Dell. CJ Stroud has been playing phenomenal. The Ravens, just because they're the Ravens, I've offensively, defensively, they're not the flashiest team, but they can get the job done. They can get the job done very, very handily. As we've seen them play against top contenders like Miami, like a San Francisco, you know, they can beat the best of the best, and they have beat the best of the best. So I think these are the 3 most dangerous teams, and I would not be surprised. I think I would be utterly shocked if the Texans make it to the Super Bowl. But the AFC Championship, I wouldn't be shocked. I think the Ravens, would win the Super Bowl, and the Bills have a very good possibility of winning the Super Bowl as well. However, that is the end of episode 18. I wish I had the little clicker thing where you're like, but yeah, this is a more shorter episode just for the simple fact that I just talked mainly football. Because the wild card weekend is literally right around the corner. Today is the 8th. The wild card games start on the 13th. So I will definitely be on top and actually, be here and be more consistent. I think that is probably the biggest thing for me in terms of New Year's resolutions in 2024 is just being consistent, giving you guys the best content I can possibly give, and also just getting better equipment. As much as I loved this camera and all it's done for me, I got to get another camera. As much as this camera right now that I'm currently using is doing its do, it didn't freeze and didn't mess up and didn't do anything, I still want to get a better camera. The mic, I really like this mic. I don't know, but we'll see. But yeah, it's still a lot of stuff that I got to do and just, work on, and other ideas and other videos and things of that nature that I want to do to just make this channel good. So I love you guys. Thank you guys for sticking it out with me. And that has been Grogu right there. That has been Bit Me. This is Real Me. Your gracious host, Jalen. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Do a couple things for me: like, comment, subscribe, post noties. I will be back again. I don't want to say tomorrow because I don't want to stack 2 pods on each other. But so I'll probably be back sometime in the middle of the week, maybe Wednesday, Thursday. Probably, I don't know if I'm probably before the wild card game start, talk about some other stuff, I'm probably not going to go through the wild card games again since I just went through them. So those episodes will probably be more outside of basketball. I mean, outside of football, so maybe basketball, UFC related things of that nature. So, but yeah, love you guys. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support that you have shown me. And here's to making 2024 the lazy cash year, man. 2023, we started out great. Here's to making this year even better. Happy New Year's to all you guys. And again, like, comment, subscribe.